offensive cyber operations are able to deter attacks, both physical and electronic, against the United States. The way this is done is through mutually assured destruction, MAD. Wild 19 writes that mutually assured destruction is a military theory that was developed to deter the use of nuclear weapons. This theory is based on the fact that nuclear weaponry is so devastating that no government wants to use them. Neither side will attack the other with their nuclear weapons because both sides are guaranteed to be totally destroyed in the conflict. No one will go to an all-out nuclear war because no side can win and no side can survive. MAD does not only need to apply to nuclear weapons, but to cyber attacks as well. This is because the impacts of a cyber attack would be extremely severe, as Schraub 19 writes that the FBI has even warned that hackers are targeting nuclear facilities. A compromised nuclear facility could result in the discharge of radioactive material, chemicals, or even possibly a reactor meltdown. A cyber attack could cause an event similar to the incident in Chernobyl. That explosion, caused by an inadvertent error, resulted in 50 deaths and the evacuation of 120,000, and has left parts of the region uninhabitable for thousands of years into the future. This means that the two sides do not want to engage into conflict with each other. The reason why offensive cyber operations are needed to reach a state of MAD is because defensive cyber operations are simply not enough to defend against cyber attacks. This is because of how difficult it is to detect a cyber attack and how easy it is to conduct it. This causes there to be a need for offensive rather than defensive cyber operations. Somayer 18 writes that the United States has been the victim of repeated cyber attacks by foreign powers, and it seems to have little power to stop them. Furthermore, Crosstown 11 writes that each major player in the global system would come to fear debilitation equally, and therefore would not risk being the first strike initiator. By capitalizing in the shared vulnerability to attack, there would arguably be a greater system of cyber deterrence, keeping the virtual common safe. MAD is mainly focused on deterring large-scale cyber attacks, such as those which target power grids and critical infrastructure. However, smaller cyber attacks still continue to happen because they are not severe enough to be prevented by MAD. In essence, MAD prevents large-scale cyber attacks. The impact of this is the prevention of cyber warfare. The impacts of cyber warfare would be devastating. Christopher 19 writes that in 2017, the WannaCry virus forced Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co., the world's biggest contract chipmaker, to shut down production for 3 days. In the UK, 200,000 computers used by the National Health System were compromised, halting medical treatment and costing nearly $120 million. And the CEA writes that malicious cyber activity cost the U.S. economy between $57 billion and $109 billion in 2016. Cyber attacks against critical infrastructure sectors could be highly damaging to the U.S. economy. Our second contention is prevention of foreign interference in elections. Offensive operations are able to prevent foreign adversaries from interfering with politics and elections. Other countries and groups are able to interfere with U.S. elections much easier now due to technology. Parks 18 writes that how Americans vote are vulnerable for a number of reasons. Older computerized voting machines run older software, which makes them more exposed to political vulnerabilities. In the case of many states that either use a completely digital or partially digital voting system, they're ripe for hacking. This is made possible by the United States conducting offensive cyber operations on other nations, such as Russia, and preventing them from being able to interfere with U.S. elections. For example, the U.S. government is able to target and shut down power or internet connection for certain groups that interfere with elections. This was shown in the 2018 midterm elections. Nakashima 19 writes that the U.S. military blocked internet access to an infamous Russian entity seeking to sow discord among Americans during the 2018 midterms. This action has been hailed as a success by Pentagon officials, and some senators credited Cyber Command with averting Russian interference in the midterms. Without Cybercom's efforts, there would have been some very serious cyber incursions. This means that offensive cyber operations have prevented political interference. The impact of this is the degradation of democracy. Levin 16 writes that during the 2016 presidential elections, the risks are profound. They should be a concern to all those who share democratic values. The impacts of democracy would be tremendous, as American Progress writes that this democratic wave brought a host of political and social rights to hundreds of millions of people and coincided with a historic decline in the incident of interstate wars.